This video is to show you a different way to complete multi-digit multiplication problems. Some of you may have learned this last year in third grade. It's called lattice multiplication. This might be easier for you if you have trouble with keeping your numbers in the correct column, or maybe your handwriting's not the greatest and you need something that's a little more structured to complete a multi-digit multiplication problem. So let me show you how it works. Let's say my multiplication problem is 5 times 46. You would find this problem if you're looking at StudyLink 5.7, all right? I'm looking at StudyLink 5.7 right now. So I'm getting these problems from there. So if we do this with the lattice box, you'll notice that I have 1 digit by 2 digit. So I need to draw my box so that I have space for a 2 digit by 1 digit number. Let me show you how that works. So if I want to draw my box, I would make 1 space for 2 numbers, 1, 2. And then over here, actually let me make this a little bigger, 1, 2 numbers, and then over here I would just need space for 1 number. So it becomes like a rectangle. So if I multiply 46 by 5, I'm going to draw it like that. And I need to split the box in half because I have 2 numbers up here. Now what you need to do is draw a diagonal line across each box from the top right corner to the bottom left corner, like this. And I'm going to go down a little bit further. And then again with this box, go down a little further. All right, now my box is set up and I'm ready to go. So how do we do this? Well, we need to multiply the numbers and put the product in the box where they meet. So for example, if I'm doing 6 times 5, I'm going to put the answer 30 here. 3, 0. The next problem I have to do is 4 times 5, which I know is 20, 2 and a 0. So this part is kind of like my tens place. These would be my tens, this would be my ones place. Now the last thing that we need to do is we need to kind of add up all of these numbers in each column. Let me show you what that looks like. Let me see if I can highlight it here. So I would have to add up all the numbers in this column. Oh, that doesn't work. Sorry, one second. So I have to add up all the numbers in each of these diagonal columns here. So because I only have 1 0, all I'm going to do is bring it down here. But if I look in the middle column here, I have a 3 and a 0. So I'm going to add those together. 3 plus 0 is 3. And then I go to my last top column here, and it's just a 2, so I bring it down. So my answer to 46 times 5 is actually 230. 230. Okay, let's move on to problem number 3 now, so I can show you how a 1 digit by 3 digit multiplication problem would look. So number 3 says 7 times 836. So my box needs to have space for 1 number on one side and then 3 numbers on the top. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 1. Here is my rectangle. Now I'm going to fill in my numbers, 8, 3, 6, and you'll notice that I'm spacing these out very evenly, and 7. Now I divide my boxes, 1, 2, 3, and draw my diagonal lines. All right, so let's get started. 6 times 7, 42. 3 times 7 is 21. And 8 times 7 is 56. Now let's try this addition again. So basically what you're doing is you're dividing these columns like this. Maybe this will help a little bit. So in my first column here, I only have a 2, so I'm just going to bring it down. In my next column, I have a 4 and a 1. When we add them together, we get a 5. Next, I have a 6 and a 2. When I add those together, I get an 8. And finally, I have a 5 by itself, so I'm just going to bring it down. So what is my answer for 7 times 836? It is 5,852. All right, we're just going to take a look at one more problem before we end this video. Let's take a look at problem number 6. 49 times 52. So you'll see the box right underneath number 6 has, it looks more like a square because we need a spot for 2 digits on the top and 2 digits on the side. So it's going to be a little more even this time. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'm going to complete the box. I'm going to write in my numbers. 49 times 52. Split it on both sides because each number has to have its own kind of space. And I'm going to start at the top right and go down to the left corner, drawing my diagonals. This one might be a little tricky because we actually have to go through 2 boxes. So just do 1 box at a time. And then keep it going. Okay? And then like this. So, all right, let's get started with our math. I'm going to start with just the top part. So I'm going to multiply 4 and 9 times 5. So I know that 4 times 5 is 20. 9 times 5 is 45. Now I can move down to the 2 below. 9 times 2 is 18. And 4 times 2 is 8. Now, because it's only 8, I'm putting a 0 in my tens place because there are no tens. It's only 8. So I have to make sure that I put something there. So I put the 0. All right, now I'm ready to start adding. Let me just highlight this one more time, just to remind you that we're going to add the numbers in these diagonal columns. So down here I have only an 8, so I'm just going to bring it down. Okay. Now here in the next column I have a 5, a 1, and an 8. So if I add 8 plus 5, I should get 13. And then if I add 1 more, I'm going to have a 14. But I only have space for 1 digit down here. So I'm going to place my 4, but guess what? Now I have to carry my 1 up to the next column. Okay? So now I have to add 1 plus 4 plus 0 plus 0, which is actually pretty easy. It's only 1 plus 4, so that's 5. But keep that in mind. If you come up with a 2-digit number when you add one of your columns, you have to carry the tens place to the next column. And finally at the top, I have only a 2, so I'm just going to bring it down, which means my answer is 2,548. All right, I hope this helps you with your lattice multiplication. If you have any questions, come and talk to us tomorrow. Have a good night.